Welcome. Ready for another one? We have successful entry has taken, and I'm looking for next entry here in this market. We'll be going for in-depth live session after this short break of the London live. And here we begin. Welcome traders. Welcome back to another live trading session. We are beginning this first day, second session. London live has done, and now we are on London and NY live in this session that I would like to again open few positions and looking at the market. Before we look at also the position, we will be looking at the analysis and the market movement, and also we'll be looking at our the trade and also other aspect of the market. Thank you. Hello. I closed to it 80 pip. Okay, so I closed to it nearly to 100 pip. Depends on what is your entry. There are few pip this way and that way. That's fine, as long as you can't always be exact correct in that. Okay, because it's just an entry exit. Few pip this way that way. But I would like to see here how many members successfully taken, because this is I have updated the group now. That's why it is so important that you keep focus on the group. If you look at here that the market has reached a very important, see that there is a rejection here, and once I see the rejection, I am out, because I know that there might be a pullback again. And already the market, you see, that has moved a lot in our previous entry. So I would like to keep that, that in a way that we are not again going to the drawdown. It is still can go again for a few people and can go back to the upside, but we saw that there was a significant drawdown in the past in early. So with that drawdown, but luckily that we hold that trade. This is what I was telling you guys. The market can do in any direction. So there is a lot of trade that I have opened and nearly to the stop loss, and then again revert back again. So here is, I'm looking at, if you look at this market structure for further entry opportunity in this live session. So before we go to that next entry, I would like you to learn the process, learn the strategy, learn the technique, because one trade, you see that sometimes we lose, sometimes we win, but we have a very high win rate. Yes. And that's what we need to look at, that here's what you can see the market here in this area, that this is a liquidity zone that you can see off this level. And off this liquidity zone, the market, if you closely look at it, you can see that this is our previous entry area here. Can I buy again now? I wouldn't at the moment, because we need to do the analysis. The market sentiment has changes, so you need to do the analysis now here in depth. Okay. already. So let's see here in this market structure, in this market context, what kind of trading opportunity we have now to enter the market, right? So if you look at that, first of all, it's always good idea because we had a successful entry, which is pretty successful, and we have opened during the live session. You guys have seen that. Now, before we go to the next entry, looking for further entry, I see that some members is still on the way. So thanks for joining. And also for those who are on just have arrived in this live session, I'm not sure how many of you fully active now. I would like to do the full trade setup when majority of the members are present and focused. So I will take here around a 1 minute break now, just to see that you are fully present and ready for an entry. So to know that, the way I will know if you like this stream, give a like, because I will see a number of likes, so I know that how many are fully active and ready. And also check your subscribe button. If you haven't done that, you can do so. Also, if you look at this trade, the one that just we have opened in our previous live session, also updated in the group. You can see that the market has reached near to the profit target, and then updated in the group to take profit before any kind of spike or anything, because there is always a spike. So I have shared the group link below this video, so where you can join to stay connected. So you can find the first link below, so that you are in any trade that we will keep opened or updated also in the group, so you're not missing that regular update. So you can do so. You can begin here another trading session. That's very good to see that, and you welcome on board. The group is open now, and at any point you could see the group became private, and you may not be able to join. So make sure you join that and pin at the top. This is something that can change how you look at everything. So make sure you don't miss out that one here as well. So let's look at now. We'll be doing the multiple time. You confirm to buy, right? You confirm to buy? No, I'm not buying here at the moment. I haven't confirmed anything. Okay, so let's look at here in this market. Okay, already. So here is what we can see. We have opened. This is not a buy entry. This is our previous trade that we have opened and taken profit. All right. So we'll be going to that analysis. Before we go to that analysis here, we can see the market. This is the 4-hour price action, just been candle close, and we can look at an entry here now. Before we go to the entry, that I would like to go for an in-depth multiple time frame analysis. So if you look at here, you can see this is the daily chart, and we are reviewing that full analysis. But you can write on the chart if you're ready. So let's look at here that daily chart, and we'll be slowly, right? Slowly is important. Don't go too fast. Slowing down is important. You know that it's very important. Slowing down. We can rush and we can go fast. Yeah. But slowing is where everything happens. You see, there is some time. If you look at that, our brain, there's a lot of, I would say that, that miseducation, misinformation that makes a lot of confusion. But let me tell you, this is a big part of your trading psychology. If you are really now making profit from each trade that we are opening, and this is that I'm sharing what it takes, because even if you are making profit, you won't be able to make profit if you don't know this. So it's very important, guys, what I'm sharing now. Okay, because this is gonna make you to take more and more trades successfully. Even with a successful trade, you could be losing if you don't know this secret that I'm sharing. This is our brain, right? Everyone has that. And what I'm sharing is everyone has that brain. Even the ants has a brain, little bit smaller. Otherwise, ant cannot move on. The smaller insects. So this is our midbrain. And we have a nose here, right? And mouth. Okay, we eat through the mouth and breathe through the nose, right? And the spine. Limbic system, like that. Now imagine that a big snake or a lion chasing you, right? Less snake, because snake is very smaller, but it's very scary, right? Say that a snake is chasing you. Now what will happen? Think about a person's, how the brain will respond. Okay, when a snake is chasing a man, will you stand up or you will run? Just a common sense. Everyone, even 2 years kid, know that what will happen. Everyone will run because scary things. Okay, so when we run, then how do we breathe? Like we breathe. Breathing is an integral part. You can't even live 10 minutes. I think world record is 5 minutes, maybe, I don't know, maybe, without breathing. Can you live 10 minutes without breathing? This is the most essential part of human existence, right? So when you run, how do you breathe? You breathe like this, right? Faster you are breathing. And the brain doesn't know anything. The only brain knows that when you are breathing faster, the brain knows that there is something scary chasing you. Because this is how the years after years our brain is conditioned. When people hunting in the jungle, since then, like this. So therefore, if we just reverse it, that means when we breathe faster, the brain knows that there is something scary. You can't relax. It's very difficult. So the brain remains in a very hyper alert, which is called the fight and flight response, right? No creativity comes from fight and flight response. You can't create something or do something better with fight, and also it creates a high level of stress hormone release, okay? Cortisol, that will reduce your immune system. It will make you more and more sick. But if you slow down your breath, right? Let's say you slowly breathe, then just the opposite. The brain will think that you are in a very relaxed state. So your creativity will increase and your brain will think that you are in a very relaxed and pleasant environment, because that's how the brain can't see, right? But brain can understand your physiology, okay? So that's what it is. So when you slow down, because we are very good at going faster, but when you slow down, your brain become very, very creative. So that's why in trading is important, okay? So if you look at that, now we are slowing down here, right? So if you look at the 4 hour, that you can see that after the first trade, we are looking at the second trade here. And if you look at that move that you can see in that area, from this high here, the price now is approaching that key level in this area. And if you look at the daily, now daily move, the market has created a new height here, new move to that level. Okay, so if you look at that, now off this level, the market now approaching that lower shadow. So this is the move that you can see the market has come back to that support area. Now looking at the lower time frame, so this is the 5 minutes move. There is a one single breakdown here that you can see, entirely one single move. So now we slowed down. Let's think now completely in a beginner mindset. Okay, an explanation. Why WTI, gold both going down? Okay, that's a very good point. So I'm not looking at all the chart. You can share your feedback always. Good to share that. Okay, so WTI and oil. Firstly, let's look at the DXY. So DXY is in a short-term move here that you guys can see. Daily chart. DXY shows that short-term downtrending move here that you can see on this area. And if you look at that, now of this high that you can see from this level, this is where the market has moved. Now I think what we could see here, WTI, if you look at WTI move is not that much of stronger. Like the drop is not very strong. Let me tell you why this happened. Because any explanation, okay, let me give you the explanation. Why sometimes both go in the same direction. The first reason, let's say something is, some traders are selling a market. Okay, let's say this is one market A and this is the market B. Okay, now this is market A where the traders knows that this market will fall. Okay, there is a possibility for further drop, bearish. So the trader, the market A, the traders is selling this market. So the market is dropping. This can happen that in market B, traders suddenly knows that the market will go up. Okay, so should be buying the market going up, but sometimes they move in the same direction. Why? Because this happened that in the market B, traders are closing their sell position. Okay, so during that time period, or another thing can happen is that it's a liquidity gap. So for example, here the traders are selling, the market is coming down. Here, this price level cannot be or may not be enough for the smart money to buy, because smart money cannot buy high price when they are not in their strategy. So what happened? This market, smart money is not buying. So in that case, some move can happen, but you will see that it's not be as strong as this one. So if you look at that, oil is here, but it's not. See that this is the 15-minute chart, and you can see that in this area 15 minutes how oil has moved, and you can see that how gold has moved. This is the complete breakdown. So from here what we can see that gold move is comparatively stronger. So we will be looking at the sell entry, guys. I believe you enjoyed that. Now, so here is the one single move from the key level that we are looking at for this market to eventually come down back below. And in the meantime, I have already shared the update of the trade in the group, and I believe you guys were there. Let me know in the chat now for those who open this trade in the London session time. Have you taken the profit, or have you closed in break even, or you still running? What is your status? You can share. Anguish, how are you doing? I'm good, thank you very much. Thanks for confirming. Okay. For me, B. Okay. Anyone has here B? That means break even. And also, let's look at with the first trading day, and I think there isn't any current. So you'll be looking at here also for this today's if there is any schedule. There's no schedule news. If you look at that on the current sentiment, which is very important because the market is mainly driven by the sentiment. Okay, what we can see, some recent update with the current war. I think that's where the market is mostly revolving around. US official tells WFO Iran will not receive a single dollar before abandoning its nuclear stockpiles. So US officials tells Washington Post Iran will not receive a single dollar before abandoning its nuclear stockpile. Sanctions relief is linked to Iran's compliance with our nuclear terms and will have to ensure the return of navigation in the Strait of Hormuz within 30 days. Okay, so I think these are some of the things being negotiated, like being under negotiation, which is where the market is now at closed in profit. Okay, very good. So we see that there is a little increased volatility in the market is because of some of the I think this negotiation is where mostly the market is at the moment is carrying it. The moment you bought gold, it London session, I bought Euro USD and I am out already. Okay, that's good. I haven't traded euro dollar today. I do trade, but I haven't traded, and I believe you guys, some of you probably on this here. Now I'm trading because we can trade on euro dollar. I do trade euro dollar USD JPY, but not at the same time. Have you seen the market get volatile? No, yeah, look, I told you in I think in the previous session, right? Even in the bank holiday, it's not global bank holiday. So the banks still trade, even with those, because the smart money, as I mentioned, will not close or unmonitor their position. Think it from very, I would say that common sense perspective, right? Let's say you are a smart money trader and you open position, they are not, sometimes they run position for long time, right? So you are a smart money trader and bank trader, okay, and you open position overnight on over the weekend or overnight, and your position is running and there's a bank holiday and it's a, let's say, $500 million position, okay, will you be leaving that trade without supervision? I don't think so. So even with the bank holiday, the mostly other banks are trading, right? So the globally all banks trade. So if the bank holiday on UK, in the US there is bank, in the Sydney there is bank, in Europe there is bank, so everywhere there is bank. So, and also institutional traders, right? Hedge funds and other institutional traders. Also the stock market, okay? Stock markets are mainly, this market also influenced by the stock market, right? It's all interconnected. Okay, it's like that's why I bring that analogy. Just look to me the best way. Okay, imagine that a big ocean, right? So you will see that there are some part of the oceans like Atlantic, okay, and many other names, but actually there is only one ocean, right? You can't divide them. So but if you go, this is Indian Ocean, there is Atlantic and Pacific. The name is different, but there's only one ocean. They are interconnected. If you take water from one place, it's gonna ultimately, if you add or reduce, it's gonna influence the overall, the tide level. Okay, so that's why, let's say we have ice on the pole, okay, and if anything happen on the pole, it's gonna increase the overall, the other way around as well. So therefore the market is like that, okay, and it's a overall thing. But there are some period when high volume, low volume. Okay, this is what you can see. For example, some bigger holiday really has a low volume. Okay, for example, Christmas days and Easter holidays, which has holiday all over the world, that has impact of volume. Okay, especially during the Christmas time in December, last 2 weeks and January first week, very low volume, and you see that smaller candles created. Other than this is almost the same. Sometimes even volume increases during that time period. You know why? Because retail trader trade a lot during the holiday time. Okay, so always keep learning, keep growing. There's nothing less here. The moment you bought gold in London, okay, have you seen markets get crazy? Okay, so I think you got that point. Now I'm looking at here for further entry opportunity. Okay, so here the market is now having a bounce in that zone here, which is showing up to be a bullish bias that you can see here in that area. And there is a single move, and now it's on a pullback. And if we see the market has grown back to the upside, you are looking at here entry. Okay. Now that being said, we are looking at here. We can see some. So with this negotiation, I think that's where the market is really fluctuating. Some of the factors that being discussed here in the current Strait of Hormuz and all other factors in this war situation. So there's another one has been discussed here, and let's see there. And says large part of talks with US concluded, but cautions deal not imminent. So how does the currently with the market is trading? Okay, we see that on gold especially and on oil that you can see they're both now moving in the same direction, right? You see that oil also moving in the same direction, and gold also showing that potentially upside here. So we see that there is a from the weekly with the first day of trading week here in this zone here, I would say there is still bullish bias on gold, and I think this bullish bias is mainly with the possibility of reaching a deal. That's what we saw that. Now since the beginning of this war, I think I discuss this almost every day. So this each war has a particular influence in the market. For example, usually we know that gold is safe haven, right? So what I have seen from long experience, this gonna really help you to even, trading and also buying gold for your partner as well in the same way. Okay. So if you look at that, usually the economic downturn, so any news that shows economic downturn increase the gold price. War usually reduces the gold price. We know that gold is considered as safer investment, but why does in war gold rises, but in terms of any kind of economic slowdown, gold in war gold drops, but with a potential economic slowdown, gold rises? Do you have an idea on that? Let me share any of you one thought. Just understanding this will trigger your brain's capacity to understand how the market works, how the engine of the market works, and will entirely open your eyes for all the instrument that you'll be trading, because there are two things here. With one dollar index, the other one is other currencies, right? So dollar index is also tied to the gold, XAUUSD, or riskier currencies. So which one is going up and which one is going down? That's all you need to know to understand the fundamental beside our trend entry. Now, if you look at, I'm looking at the technical, I'm waiting for an answer from anyone. Here is the weekly move that you can see the market open with a gap on the weekly on gold, and because it has pushed back to the upside here, that you can see the market now trying to move here, break this weekly high. Looking at daily and also the 15-minute chart, we can see there was a break of structure, and the market again trying to push back here to the upside to create a new higher high here in this market. So with this movement that you can see off this level, the market dropped to that support, and now it's moving that, pushing that back to the upside here in that area. I'm looking at for this entry back to the upside here. Now, if you see that the market has approached that level, has reached that key level, we will be looking at the entry on that area here on gold. So far is still from the technical aspect is showing bullish, and I will consider the fundamental as well now so far for short-term bullish, is because going back to that the question, okay, is that when there is a war or potential war, gold usually slows down or go for a pullback. But no war, but there is economic slowdown, gold usually rises. Let me tell you why. Firstly, they are related or highly tied to the energy, right? So energy up, gold down. Okay, this is over the relationship. Now, if there is a slowdown on economy, let's say there is no war, but slowdown in economy that happens sometime happens in the past. When there is a slowdown in economy, means that demand for energy will drop. So WTI or Brent or gas will drop because there is slowdown, economic slowdown. There is less activities. The demand for energy will drop. So if demand for energy drops, gold is going to go up as a rule of thumb. And also, during the time period, traders look for safer investment and they bring all their investment to the gold to avoid inflation, because during the economic crisis, the inflation sometimes become very high. So this is one thing. Secondly, in war, the other way around. In war, energy become comparatively expensive because it usually will affect the energy most of the time. And if the energy goes up, gold goes down. However, when the war becomes such a intense that threatens the inevitable economic downturn, then both can go up. WTI or energy and gold both can go up. That means DXY, or this rarely happens, but that can happen. So now that means if we reason from that, anytime there is some possibility of making a deal, that means ending the war, usually gold is showing a bullish move here. And we can see that reflection on oil, little down with a bearish move. Gold is now going back to the upside. So therefore, at the moment, we are waiting on a buy opportunity. That's why you guys see that my first trade on gold today was buy, and I'm looking at again potential buy here, not this buy, BUY. Are you guys there? Say yes if you are ready for this buy. Entry, the bullish. Okay, so you can see that here with this movement, the market has, with a significant drop. Okay, so how many of you yes here? Yes, okay. Anyone else yes? Anyone else yes? Say yes. Okay, yes, it's cool. Yes. Okay, cool. Now, if you look at here, you can see there was a break below. Okay, I see that many of you is fully ready. I am also ready here. Of course, with risk managed setup, which is very important to look at. If you're trading, then definitely make sure that you manage the risk accordingly. And now here is a breakout that you can see of this level, of this breakout that I'm looking at for a pullback here. And with this pullback, looking for a possible entry setup after this. If you look at this, is an initial move. Now, with this move, the market has, again, from the Fibonacci perspective here, that crossed 61.8%, nearly reached that 70 If you look at that, 78.6% Fibonacci pullback, and with this Fibonacci pullback here, that looking forward to see the market to eventually, what I think most likely we'll see that bounce back up, and therefore I'm bullish. But you want to see that break of structure in this lower time frame before you look for entry again. However, anytime we are also ready to adjust our directional bias if needed. Do you think it will come back down to fill the gap? Okay, let's look at the 4 hour. Here, that means here. It can come back down, but I think before it can come back down, chances for the market to cross, and very likely that it's potentially to come back down, highly likely later, because we are short-term trader. Now if you look at the market is approaching 4588 or 89, which is that the current the resistance level. So there is an imbalance here, right, that you can see. Okay, so with this move that you can see here, and chances for this market to go ahead, and if you look at that, filling that zone is very important. Okay, so gap, instead of filling this gap, chances for filling this gap is higher. So for me, I am 70% bias that the market will go up. If you are with me, make sure you like, but don't just jump on a trade. Just keep observing. Okay, so for me, 70% probability the market will go up. Okay. So I'm just looking at some of the market structure it has created in that area. So if you look at that, the price action is not showing very stronger drop here. So but the bulls looks stronger here. The buying pressure is higher. So therefore the chances for this market to go again back to the upside is higher, but let it have some pullback, and that pullback can create entry opportunity if we see that confirmation, because in the last moment, if there is any breaking news, still can come back down. The market can go any direction, which is a natural part of the market. So there is some rejection that we have seen. So if you look at that, there is a narrow pin bar in this area here on XAUUSD. Now this pin bar, the market tested this previous resistance as a support, and after retesting this resistance support, it's initial rejection here. So looking for entry here, I think we'll be looking to see how this 30-minute candle close. If you look at the 50 minutes, has closed with a long wick at the top, which is showing that the market might be here potentially creating a structural bias here. So therefore here I'm looking at for a possible entry opportunity here in this market. You see that where it is heading in that area. So if you look at closely, you can see that the market here shown a strong bullish confluence that we can see with this movement. Now, so far here it shows that bullish confluence, but still it can have another deeper pullback. If you look at that if you look at the 1 hour, this 1 hour candle that you can see this one, even if it is closing here near here, which can act as a bullish bias. However, before the candle close, if we see immediate drop back below here, that I would say the market here to remain downside here in that area. So I'm opening here a long position with fully risk managed setup. Stop loss I will put here at 4550.00, and this is the second trade, and I will keep my TP at the moment as at this level and at 79, and I will keep some position open. So we will keep the TP1, that means around 70% of our running position we will take at TP1 at this level, and if it successfully moved to that level, then we will be also looking for the next trade to run to the new high. Okay, so which will be we can take crossing this level, which will be 3 to nearly to, if you look at that, higher than this. So this will be the TP2 level. Now basically I will be running one position, but I will take partial at this level at 4579.00. If the market goes, of course, the market can go the other way around as well. You guys have seen that it happens. So the second, entry at 4565.00 and profit level at 4579.00 and stop level at 4550 0.00. Okay, so this is the TP1 will be running, because the market structure that you can see here shows that there is a higher possibility for the market to here remain in an upside as the market trend shows. So I open buy, and so I've opened buy here, and I'm looking at here in this market to give an entry opportunity. Do you think, do you not think it will come back down to fill gap? Yes, it can come back. Okay, it has limited freedom to come back. You know what? That limited freedom. So if you look at, if you leave a man here, he can go in any direction like this. So you can say that a man can go in infinite direction. But this one has a limited freedom. It can go in 3 directions only. It can go either to up, down, or sideways. So if it goes up, we are profit. If it goes down, we are stop loss. But the goal here is to use the probability. Now, as I mentioned, my probability here is 70% that the market is going to go to the TP1. Okay, and also you have TP2. So 70% probability means that if you replay the same scenario for 10 times, in my opinion, is 7 times it will go to the profit target, 3 times it's gonna go back to the stop loss. So if you fall into that 3 times, then we are down. But most likely, imagine that there is a jar here, right, like this, and there are balls, yellow ball, blue ball. Okay, 10 balls, 3 of them blue or yellow. Let's say 7 blue, 3 yellow. Now you randomly pick up each time 1 plastic ball for kids, right? So think about that. If you randomly pick 7 yellow ball, 3 or 7 blue balls, 3 yellow balls. Now if you randomly pick those, what will be the probability of picking the blue ball, right? You still have a probability to pick a yellow ball, but the probability of picking a blue ball is much higher. That's trading. That's how we trade. So if you tell a kid, okay, can you pick a ball for me? And you start to pick in your mind that, okay, the kids must be picking a blue ball for me, because 7 blue ball, only 3 yellow ball. But the kids can still pick a yellow ball for you. If it does, then you say, oh shit, it's very small probability. But anyway, let's try again. So that's how trading. So with the possibility of picking up a yellow ball, that you need to make sure that you are prepared for it. The risk is 171. Risk. The risk is 171 risk. You mean the stop loss? Okay, so we have 2 TP. That's why I placed the 2 TP, is because we want to take around 70% profit here. That means if, for example, if you want to take the same, then if your lot is 1 lot, then probably closing 0.7 lot and running 0.3 lot with for the next TP. But I will not move the stop loss in any way in both trades. So I'll keep the same. So we see some pickup here, and when I see that the market is showing that movement in that direction here. So here's the market at this level. Now, of this, now if the market react to that, see that where I think the possibility here for this market to remain bullish is high. However, if the market return of this high, that let's see that if we will be able to see this move. It's forming a head and shoulder. Okay, so I might go for a break even with this trade. Didn't go according to the plan, and it didn't break above, so the trade is not very at the moment convenient. So I will be closing this trade break even. Let's see that how if the market is going up here. So I have a very smaller risk here, as I mentioned. So I'm moving the take profit at entry, not take profit, stop loss at entry to make the trade break even. Little lower the entry. Not, come on, next up here. We'll keep the stop loss there. So it's a buy trade. Come on. In a buy trade, take profit is above. So take profit at entry, not the stop loss. Come on. So I'm bringing the take profit at entry for this trade, and I will go break even. The market seems that there are some, if you look at that, a break below. So the market still can go up, but I am very cautious about my win rate. I want to keep that on. So I will be going out with this trade at break even. Okay, so I'm going out now. I'm out with the trade. Okay, so it's a part of trading, you know, sometimes it had happened. I have exited break even, so I'm recording it as break even. Mine is out, so I am out with my entry. I'm not in trade anymore, so I am break even. Okay, I'm break even, but not the end, just the beginning, right? Also start with B, because the market didn't show the stronger momentum. It still can go up, but it didn't do the way that I have expected. So I'm exited. Okay, we can open again. I'm out too, thank you. Okay, we can open again, but before opening, I'll just take a 1 minute break. We'll be back on track. Stay connected. We'll look for the next entry here. Thank you. Okay, so the market has shown upside bias. Some I'm out. Let's see that what's happening. I'm really looking to see that what is current the market condition here. There are some mixed signal that we can see here in that area, and if we see that clean bias, we can look at an entry. And I guess you guys are with me. You see that what happened, the market has tested this neckline, which is the support and resistance, and after retest of this neckline, that you can see the market has reacted back below here. And you can see the market is showing that pattern in that area. So the market here shows now both directional bias, and I'm really you can see that it's sometime it happens with the indecision that you can see if the market can happen. Okay, so with that indecision, it is better idea to be a little cautious and wait for the market to show a directional bias, and that's what you will be looking at for entry as soon as we can see that here in this market. I may got a recent low then go up possible. I think we need to sell because of the gap, and I see WTI start going up. I'm looking for a buy entry as my preferred position. Difficult one. Yes. I think you guys are to the point. So the market is like sometime this kind of move happens, especially the market. There are some way the market move that I have seen for an extended period of time. So if you look at that, for example, when you see that, let's say there is a war started, okay, and you know that just war is going on, so there is war. The market will move in one direction usually because the market knows that there is a war. But if you look at that there is no war, the market also will move in one direction. But when there is especially a difficult condition, right? When the negotiation, especially this kind of negotiation or any kind of peace negotiation that has a complicacy, the market get confused. Market means that people, right? So those who are trading, they get confused, okay? Which is very normal because there are some complicated matters that not resolved. So therefore the traders cares. Now you guys see that we are trading, we are retail trader, we trade, but there are bigger traders here, right? So in the market who are really mover of the market. Let's say you wanna trade or you wanna buy for $500 million or even with $1 million. Definitely that trader will care a lot, right? What is happening, because that trade matters. If it goes in profit, okay, let's say you if you are using $500 account, you got 1% up, then you are $5 up. If you are using a $500 million, just reflect it. 1% up means that you got $5 million with one trade. So that's where they think. So when things are highly complicated, such as we saw that some of the news that come about the uranium, about the Strait of Hormuz not open, so it should be open, and those things has not still been resolved, and there was, I think, some of the news saying that today there is a peace negotiation, but the last one that you can see 5 hours ago here, Foreign Ministry from Iran's spokesperson, potential MOU has no specific details about the agreement of the Strait of Hormuz. So there are some details missing and also no specific detail. And if you look at that also, I think some points such as far as I know, I think they are discussing about taking the Strait of Hormuz to the pre-war condition, right? Which is pretty big deal, in fact. So this kind of things that, and 25 minutes ago there is another one has come. US officials tells WEPO Iran will not receive a single dollar before abandoning its nuclear stockpiles. So I think this is also one of the biggest reason where this deal is stuck. I think this is the biggest deal. And so therefore it's in fact a very complicated matters, right? So in those situations the market remain little confused, and therefore that's why my entry also little cautious, right? So you got exit, you open sell but got exit, bought, I got exit. Now the market might here, if you look at that, it was a high probability bullish position, but what we can see that there is showing some kind of rejection, some pickup also you can see on WTI here in that area. So if you look at here, we can see some pickup, right, on oil. It's on the support. If the oil is going to pick up here, we might see that XAUUSD to here get back down to create a wall. So at the moment, on the first 30 minutes that you can see here, it shows a red candle. Now this can push the market down, or you could see that up again. So I will be still be waiting to see a full move. Okay, patience is key. We had our previous trade in London session successfully closed. I think might here sell actually. The price action now shows that there is a potential for sell. We'll see that what happened. Does the market close early today? I don't think so. There isn't any large public holiday that will cause the market to close early. Is there any reason that you think the market might close early? Have you got an idea? I didn't see any announcement or email, unless I'm not missing something. Holiday in the USA. May 25th, right? No, I don't think it's close. Usually with banks holiday, the market doesn't remain close. Yeah, okay. Yeah, banks are closed, but the market, forex market, usually doesn't close on because if any market opens around the world, the market is still closed because it open is 24/7, right? For example, I have an app where I can see the market opening hours. So if you look at that, open market is New York now, Frankfurt, London. So once the London close, New York session is still open. Now, so New York session doesn't mean that only New York is going to trade. All around the world, everything will trade. So it's open. Okay, it's open. And you might see that more volume than regular, because during the holiday, public holiday, people have more time to trade, especially for learning purpose. Okay, those who are trading with funds, they have more time to give, and sometimes the volume becomes even more than expected. You can see from the daily, see the today's candlestick pattern, how much has moved. So if you compare on Thursday, Friday, last week's 2 days, the volatility was on Thursday was from the daily overall high to low 824 pip. On Friday, the volatility was from high to low 540 pip. Now today so far, already the market moved 710 pip. So today's high and low nearly to reach Thursday's high, Thursday's move. I don't see any. It depends on where you are, okay? Because most of the things are, many things are localized, right? Okay. So gold close to hours 30 minutes earlier. Yeah. So some broker might open, some broker might close. Okay, depending on today's memo. Okay. Now at the moment, but we can just ignore it because we are trading in this busy period in a high volume. That's why I pick this time is because the time that I trade is the most active session, and that's what trading makes really interesting, because you don't have to sit down like a full-time job 9 to 5 until your session over. You can just trade the peak session, okay, and then let the rest of the time just to like give yourself some time to spend that leisure. Now going to this zone here, we are looking at here, I was looking at entry, but we can see that after this break of structure, the market hasn't really dropped to the support. Now move back to the upside. It is now in an doji, that means in indecision. You can see that this 4-hour candle is a doji. So doji, probably you know that what is the mean. Still the candle not close, but that's what happened. This is the meaning of doji. And some people said you are doji. Okay, not that doji. Someone dodge someone, that's also called doji. But this doji is basically represents indecision in the market. Okay, so you can see that 4-hour doji. Now 4-hour doji is important because so far the candle not closed, but if you look at after this green candle was a doji, and then quite a few sessions there wasn't any doji. Now it's forming a doji. So that doji represents indecision. So when it is an indecision, how can you make a decision of this indecision? Indecision also is a decision, right? This is sometimes very significant. So if you look at, what do you say about the brokers, especially XNS? Okay, so if you look at this this zone here, I'm not sure about. I didn't trade on XNS. I trade on the broker that I share with you below. I think for those who want to check with the broker that I'm trading, you can find link below. Sometimes guys ask, so that you can take that link below this video. Okay, so here is that if you look at this 4-hour, this is where this might be creating, I trade both MT5 and MT4, okay? So for those who want to were in the group, you also can see the possibility for these options. The trade that I'm opening, I had a question earlier today. It's important that you guys know how trading works, okay? Platform is not important. Either you are trading on MT5, MT4, or neither of them, okay? The only difference is that with MT5 or MT4, you are able to run some kind of expert advisor that might be not available with other platform. But if you are trading on in a manual setup, then it doesn't much matter, okay, if you have proper risk management plan. So I had just a few minutes ago one member asked this question, coach, can I use gold signal on MT5? Yes, you can, in any platform. Okay, so it's not about the platform, it's about your risk management plan, which is very important to look at. Okay, so if you look at here, this is the 4 hour, and potentially it's becoming a doji. I use Vantage. I think it's like I use Vantage now. Okay, you guys can see that link below this video. Okay, so here if you look at that 4 hour, it's creating a doji here in this area that you can see. And with this doji formation, if the candle close here on the 4 hour time frame, and if the candle close as a doji, we might see the market to potentially to break to the upside or coming back, depending on where it is opening, depending on where the market is creating the structure. This is very important to look at. All right, guys, so it's important. Now, the 15 minutes candlestick pattern that you can see here in this area, that the market has moved from here to this level, and then to this level, and then to this level, like that. Okay, so with this move that you can see, the market has moved, and this is a kind of now sideways market. And with this sideways market, we could see the market to break back to the upside here in that area. We could see the market to make that. And if we see that the market is creating that structure, we will be looking at that here, an entry in this market. Okay, so let's see that where the price action is maintaining its momentum. Depending on here, we will be looking at that entry. Okay, now it's in a 4 hour indecision. That means that 4 hour doji, and if that happens on the 4 hour doji, we will be able to see that the market structure to show its momentum. See that, and I would like to keep the possibility open for both direction here. Thank you. Okay, now to make a plan for our next move, let's see again the lower time frame, which is always a look at the lower time frame for the fresh perspective. Now, the previous trade during the London session open, if you guys looked at from here, we bought, the market dropped almost near to the stop loss, but it finally bounced back to the upside because this is an uptrending market structure, and I have traded the trend. We'll be looking at in depth on that. Okay, so Iran denies deal with the US is imminent, despite Iran denies deal with the US is imminent despite some progress there, and says contradictory statements from US and Israel interference hindering negotiation. Is there any news has come out? I think this we haven't looked at. This one came from Truth Social. We haven't looked at it. Let's see that. That's pretty large. So Trump negotiation with the Islamic Republic of Iran are proceeding nicely. Negotiation this time proceeding nicely. Only a great deal for all, no deal at all. Yeah, I think this is what we were discussing in our previous discussion, that I think that either it's gonna be a deal or no deal. because it's in fact a big deal, right? There's a lot of, I think, your ship in that area, so it's big deal, right? Going in which direction, and that's what the market is. You see that showing that confusion. Back to the battlefront and shooting, but bigger and stronger than ever before, and nobody wants that. During my discussion on Saturday with President Mohammed bin Salman Al Saud, Saudi Arab, Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan of the United Arab Emirates, Amir Tamim bin Hamad bin Khalifa Al, the Prime Minister Mahmoud bin Abdurrahman bin Jassim bin Zabar Ali, Qatar, Pakistan President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi of Egypt, King Abdullah II of Jordan, and King Hamad bin Isa al-Khalifa of the Bahrain started that after all the work done by the United States to try and pull this very complex puzzle together. It should be mandatory that all of these countries at a minimum simultaneously sign into the Abraham Accord. Those countries discussed are Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates already a member, Pakistan, Turkey, Egypt, Jordan, Bahrain already a member. It may be possible that one or two have reason for not doing so, and that will be accepted, but most should be ready, willing, and be able to make the settlement with Iran, a far more historic event that would otherwise be. Abraham Accord have proven to be for the countries involved financial, economic, and social boom. Even during this time of conflict and war with the current members, never even struggling, never even suggesting leaving or taking so much as even a pause. The reason for this is that the Abraham Accord have been great for them and will be even better for everybody and bring true power, strength, and peace to the Middle East. For the first time in 5,000 years, it will be document respected like no other than has been signed anywhere in the world. Its level, important prestige will be unparalleled. It should start with the immediate signing by Saudi Arabia and Qatar, and everybody else should follow suit. If they don't, they should not be part of the deal, in that it shows bad intention. In speaking to numerous of the great leaders nationwide about, they would honored as soon as our document is signed to have the Islamic Republic of Iran as a part of the Abraham Accord. Wow. Now that would be something special. This will be the most important deal that any other this great but always in conflict countries will ever sign. Nothing in the past, in the future, pass it. Therefore, I am mandatorily requesting that all countries immediately sign the Abraham Accord, and that if Iran signs its agreement with me as a President of the United States of America, it would be an honor to have them also be part of this parallel world coalition. The Middle East would be united, powerful, and economically strong, like perhaps no other area anywhere in the world. By copy of this truth, I am asking my representative to begin and successfully complete the process of signing these countries into already historic Abraham Accord. Thank you. Attention to this matter. Okay, I think this is where I think that President Trump tried to disclose or explain in detail, which is, I would say, that an open sign, which is to see that more of what the deal and what kind of information has been passed through. So, which is about an Abraham Accord, and I think Trump is inviting Iran to sign on that, which is also a deal. So this deal may unite some of the countries in that region. I think some of the leaders, according to him, that they agreed to sign. So let's see that how the market is progressing with this, as on Monday we are the first day of trading week, but so far the market little in a sideway is because of some of the news to come out, right? So it is very fast moving solution, lots of conflicting news. Yeah, this we can see. Seems to be a stronger 4-hour key level. Yeah, we can see that in that 4-hour key level, the market is in fact showing that reaction. Iran downed a hostile drone over the Gulf using a new air defense system. Iranian is so okay. Usually when now there is a lot of drone that these days we can see, right, being used. So with the Iran with a new air defense system, I think yesterday also I have found one news that they have shot down a drone. Have you heard that? So probably they have installed new air defense system in Iran to shoot down more and more drones, or it's very fast moving situation, lots of conflicting news. Okay, and okay, so you mean that who downed that hostile drone in the Gulf or Iran? Like, who's downed? I think you mean that Iran, huh? I haven't seen that yet, but I know one yesterday. Financial juice is also good for news update. Yeah. So the market, you know that the market, if you follow each news update, you will see there is a relationship with the market movement. Yeah, there is the liquidity in fact comes with the news update. Each breaking news, there will be bigger candle. Okay, we don't pay attention, that's why you don't understand. But if you follow along each news update, and if you compare it with the price section, you will find a relationship to that. Okay, Iran down drone. Okay. So Iran, you say that Iran has installed a new air defense system, according to the Iranian news agency. Okay. So okay. I think these are some of the things that were on the deal, maybe. Two of the things that we have seen, one is nuclear, the other one is ballistic missile. I think these are the two, and also Strait of Hormuz. I think these are the three things that being back and forth. That's what the market was trading accordingly, right? And I think the biggest one is the nuclear, right? Especially the enriched. Okay, so let's see that until we see an outcome has come out, we could see the market not trending very strongly. And I would say that it might remain here in a sideways market condition here. Okay, so if you look at this is a sideways market now after this initial move here that you can see. So with this initial move that you can see the market moving in a sideways, and with this sideways market, after this initial liquidity sweep, we might see the market to eventually break that here in that area. Okay, so the lower time frame, I'm thinking of potential entry here. Okay, so here is the market in this area. This is a lower time frame trend line that you can see in this area. So far in that zone, lower time frame, the market structure shows that potential for a buy entry here in this area that could create bullish momentum. Let's see that where it is heading. All right, so you can see from here to this initial drop, pull back, liquidity grab, another drop, and you could see the market to trend here back above in that area. So any other update? What see the market is currently in a entirely in a sideways movement. I see some other sources says that deal with the US not imminent, Iran says. So CNN, BBC, there's some of the things that more in the so still there is a seller at the moment. Still there is a seller at the moment. The market is a little sideways. I think it's waiting for a breakout. Usually when you see the market in a sideways, usually the market waits for the breakout because of the upcoming potential breaking news. That's what you could see the market could start its move in one direction. Okay, so if you look at that here. Now, this is what we can see in the market, right? In this area here, so far, if I consider this zone here, that I would say that it is in an uptrending market. You can see that the market is in this bullish momentum, which is so far in this area. And with the current Yeah, so at this point that I would like to look at the market from the uptrending market structure perspective that you can see here in this area, which is that to look at, this is the previous resistance, which is turning support, and the resistance turn support created that bullish momentum to look for the market to retest and then to trend and maintain its upside bias to create a new higher high in this market. This is what we can see, that a bullish trend to create a new higher high. This is a bullish engulf from the 5-minute chart showing up that this market potentially to remain here bullish to create a new higher high. With a bullish engulfer, it's showing that there is here an upside bias, which could eventually go ahead and create a new higher high here. And maintaining that upside momentum could create, this can be a possible, if you look at that, an order block that you could see here in this area. And that can create an order block, and that order block can remain here upside to create a new higher high. This is the recent level of resistance here that you can see in this area. So as a trader, you know what? It's not about trading. It's about not trading. Okay, which is very important to understand. Now here, our main aim is not only to trade, but also not to trade, right? So because you can only keep your trading capital at your trading account if you don't trade. So if you sit down, let's say that an hour in front of the chart, you might take 1 trade or 2 trades. So that might take you to 5 to 10 minutes, but the rest of the time you should be able to watch the chart, not inattentive, but attentively, seriously, but not trading. See, this is where, because to find a trade that you will be trading, that you will be opening position, you need to have the full concentration, right? Otherwise, there is a lot of chance of making an error. So that much of concentration, you can't just bring it randomly. You have to keep it there until you find a setup. And therefore, during that time period, what you need to be able to stay without trading. And that's the real secret of becoming profitable trader. Okay. So how do you not trade, but you stay focused? It's very important. Attention is the key. And to develop a healthy trading psychology, you have to have that span of attention. So what is attention? For example, we think that attention is just, let's say you look at something, give attention, and then attention diverted. Do you know that some people keep attention for 10 years? How can you keep attention for 10 years? That is attention. Okay? If you can keep your attention for 10 years, that is attention. Or you can keep for 5 years, that is also attention. But if you look at average human attention could be 1 second to max 2-3 seconds, sometimes smaller than 1 second. For those who have an ADHD, might be less than that. But that attention span can be 10 years. So that's where the real secret, real things happens. How can you keep attention for 10 years? Anyone here that can keep an attention for 10 years? Okay, you can hold that image for 10 long years. That is keeping the attention for 10 years. So trading in the same way. For 2 hours you are looking and 2 hours you are waiting for that. So those who hold the attention for 10 years is like that. So you hold the image for 10 years. It's like you are in a river with the water is flowing, okay, with this speed, and you hold on your hand an image like the photo frame. Your head is up, leg is down, and you just hold the image and let the water to flow you whichever direction that it wants to take. But you have an image in your hand and you just keep focusing on that specific image and let the water flow to you. Trust is very important in that case. When you trust, it definitely will take you where you want to go. The missing piece of the puzzle is the trust. Okay. Many people can't hold it. No, true. There are many ways, there are many kinds of attention that you can see. Those who achieve bigger goals, they can hold attention for 5 years, 10 years, even lifelong. Okay? Attention doesn't mean that you just keep thinking about one thing. It means that because we have two thinking mind, right? So on your background, you know that this is where you want to go and this is what you want to be. And every action and decision that you make is around this. That is attention. So to do that, if you have something that you want to pursue for 10 years or 5 years, it's really, really worth. You don't need anyone. You need people. But what happens is that when you strongly hold that picture strong enough, it's going to create, you see the earth magnet like that. So it's going to create a magnetic reef. It's called the flux. Okay. So it will create a magnetic flux that will drag the required things to you. Okay. So you can turn a metal into magnet by bringing near to the magnet. Okay. So the magnet like this, the flux coming from North Pole to the South Pole. So when you bring a metal near to the magnet, it's gonna also ionize the same metal and turn into magnet in this way. So you can just repeat the process over and over again, and it will turn everything into that which you want to turn, no doubt about it. And that's the trust. Anything and everything inevitably will turn into that. This universe has that power, regardless of the nature of it. But you need to be very, very conscious of the intention and action and everything. It's gonna definitely manifest. So now in trading, in the same way, okay, you can look at that. Okay, so here is what you can see, that the market has created this momentum, which is creating a move, pullback, and the move, the pullback. And here the lower time frame trend shows that there is an uptrending market structure that you can see here in that area. And you see, the magnet analogy that we discussed is almost identical to the human mind and thinking. So if you look at a metal and a magnet, what is the difference between that? The same thing, right? If you look at metal and magnet, they look same. But what is the difference? The difference is that, let's say this is a magnet and this is a metal. In the metal, the ions, the one side is positive, the other one is negative, right? They are scattered in different direction. Okay, like this. Exactly, the human mind works like this. So because they are scattered in a different direction, it cannot create any magnetic field, because one ray flux coming in that direction, the other one is coming in this direction. The human thinking also same. When we are not focused on a specific outcome, then the thinking also becomes scattered. Today I'm thinking I'll do the trading, tomorrow doing something else, after tomorrow something else. So what happened, that thinking is also getting scattered, because the thinking is it's not creating any reflex that is not aligned. But if you look at the magnet, so if you bring that metal near to the magnet, what happened, that in magnet, all those positive ion in one direction, all this negative ion in one direction. So the pole are divided. So then those flux are very, very regular and directional. So if you bring a metal to it, all those negative that is scattered will go in one side, all those positive will come in another side. So they also turn into magnet. That's why if you bring anyone to who is, if you are working, let's say as a trader, and you want to be a trader, you see that it's gonna create that same kind of thinking pattern will be in you. So that's why anything and everything that you want to achieve, depending on how strongly your magnetic field will bring that relative things to you, and will create the same kind of reflex to go to that. So that's why it is so important that you have a strong magnetic pole to bring that into. So the thinking also exactly the same way. In that way it happens. So therefore, to be a trader, it's important that you always keep thinking about trading, okay, or at least keep it as in your dominant thinking. But don't quit anything that you are doing, because trading takes some time, and that's why I tell you always keep it as a thing that you want to achieve. And then slowly, if you see that our regular trade now becoming consistently profitable, you can take that regularly with risk management. Once your trading psychology gets strong enough, you can also use that in your trading. Okay, so now Let's see that where it is heading. Is the previous resistance. Okay. All right. So whenever in a position, we have open one and we closed in break even, and leafy. What's that word? No, the gold is preparing for a potential breakout, and you can see that here in this here, and WT is falling, gold up. Yeah, so WTI, we saw there was a pullback. So this is there was a significant gap open, and I think with this the first day opening from the weekly, if you look at, there was a gap open. The market can come down below here for this deeper pullback, and I think it is not unusual to see the market again coming near to cross this monthly low or hitting that monthly low, and then to revert again back upside. So you can see that WTI has made its move here. There is a significant gap open that you can see here in this area. This is a large gap. So what I think the WTI here potentially to break below and then to revert again back above. That could be with WTI. If you look at that on XAUUSD, slowly picking that market back to the upside. Thank you. Yeah, you can see that. There is another very interesting thing that guys will really enjoy that, I think. You see, one very common misconception or misunderstanding is that some people, I saw that over and over again, I think everyone thinks that, let's say, if you focus on a long-term growth or success or anything, you might miss a lot of things. That's completely opposite. Inevitably true. It's actually opposite. Have you ever seen on a car or a bus where the car is sitting and you are looking into the window where it feels like that your car is moving? Is the same way. Either you will be moving or you will be remaining static, the rest of the things will be moving away from you. So if you are moving, then it's fun, because when you have, let's say, 10 years, 10 year, I will be focusing on one thing. How can I do that? What will happen that when you keep focusing on this 10-year one thing, it's a distant object. So you are actually moving towards it. If you are not moving, then the rest of the things will moving from you, because the universe is constantly in motion, right? If you look at the galaxy, it's constantly in motion. Everything is in constant motion. Nothing remain still. The house that you are living, look at 200 years ago, there is nothing over there. Probably something else. Grass, tree, or building. So it's moving constantly over time. So therefore, when you have that something on mind and then work on it, so what happening that you are actually moving in a lifeline. And along the way, you will enjoy many things that you even didn't imagine that you're gonna do it. The higher the vision is, the more excitement you will enjoy along the way. However, if you remain static, then you can remain static, but the rest of the things will move away from you. In that case, you have to encounter something that you did not expect. When you are moving towards it, you will be encountering anything that you expected, that you wanted to enjoy, a ride, a holiday, a season, anything that is on your way according to your choice, because you are moving towards it. But if you are not moving towards it, then things will be passing by you, like you will be static. So everything will come to you without your choice, and you will be encountered something that sometime even you didn't expect. That's the difference between remaining static or remaining dynamic. So therefore, and I believe you, for those who are here to be a trader, make sure that from today you set your mind for the rest of your life to become a trader. Watch every live session, join every live trading, as well as go through each lesson that I'm posting. Watch every analysis that I'm posting. There's a lot to take from here. And then don't miss out the signals that I'm posting. Also, if you have any question, there is a direct DM available for the members to directly speak and talk to the admin or me. That's available for you. That being said, it is an incredible trading day with all of you guys. Before today we haven't any trade, just letting you know. It happens sometime, and the market is not moving, that I don't want to enter the market that is not moving. We'll be waiting for the confirmation. And in the meantime, you can find link below this video, first link. Join the premium group where you can also learn and grow as a trader with me. That being said, thanks for joining here. I'll see you again very soon, trading live tomorrow with another important trade setup during London session as well as during the NY session.